Hey guys, happy Easter. If it's not Easter, then I hope you're having a great day. So we just had our Easter egg hunt and dinner, and our family just left. And it's super sad. I hate when they leave. They're like the best. I feel like we never have enough time. Anyways, so now that they're gone, I thought this would be a great opportunity to give you guys a tour of my childhood backyard, where it all became my kind of like obsessions, like playing in yards. And what I got into was ultimately because of my environment, because I had a backyard and I was kind of limited with my imagination with what I could do in the yard. But let's go look around. I'm gonna kind of talk to you guys about things in this yard that I've done. We had a tornado about a couple years ago that hit my parents' house, and their house had to be remodeled and redone, and the yard doesn't quite look like it used to. They've done a lot of changes. When I lived here, I made a lot of influential decisions of the yard because I spent most of my time here playing in it. But I mean, like, they didn't have this expansion on the house, and that tornado shelter is newish. I mean, they got that thankfully before the tornado hit, so they were able to stay in that when the tornado hit and lifted up their house and put it back down. But so we have this fort. This was my childhood fort when I was a kid, and it's still standing, which is incredible even after that tornado. So this thing, gosh, this was done by Dallas Custom Swing is what it says. I don't even know if that company's still in business, but they sure do make good forts, and would love to advertise for them because this is amazing. Not the greatest lighting over here. Anyways, so this thing, I was a pretty rebellious little kid, and got into a lot of fights with my parents because I thought I knew best. So whenever I got upset, I would take a pillow and a sleeping bag or blankets, come in here and like just lay in there. And I told him, well, I don't need to live in the house. I can live outside. I've got the faucet for water, my dad's garden for food. Like I knew I could go in there and get cucumbers and stuff like that and just eat and live off the land. Like, why would I need my parents? I can take care of myself. Absolutely. And I was so sure that I could do that. But yeah, this is so many great memories with this thing. Like, it's just awesome. I know it doesn't look like much now, but like, this was freedom. This and my bicycle were freedom for me when I was a kid. I know me and my brother would come and lay in here when there was like rainstorms and stuff, and just like enjoy being in the storm and stuff. And then eventually we get be like, oh, it's, there's lightning, or oh, or I'm bored, and then we go inside. But yeah, and then there was like down here in the sand pit, like this is new fresh sand my dad just put in. But what was cool was that like there was these little sand bugs, and I would pick up little ants and stuff and stick them. They made these like little dunes, and like at the bottom of them they're just waiting for bugs to walk in and fall down their little trap, and then they get them and eat them. And so I just put like ants and stuff like that in there and like feed my creatures. So it was really weird to get in the sand, because it was like these were living creatures in there, and it felt weird to get in there and play in the sand when there was like a living animal, like my pets. Like, I don't want to be in there with them. I literally have to like scoop them all out to get in there, and I felt really bad. But it was really cool because like they are interesting looking little creatures. If you scoop them out with your hand and like kind of sift out the sand, like you'll see these little itty bitty little bugs, and they went backwards like when they moved. So if you put them in the sand, they would actually go in with their abdomen first and like bury in, which was super cool. But yeah, like, so my poor parents, I mean, they had this tomboy for a child that was super rebellious. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I got this, mom and dad. Like, I don't need you. And I started saying stuff like that when I was like 3 to my parents. I'm so glad my son's not like that. Having my own self to deal with would have been tough. But yeah. So walking around, there was so many, like, okay, so this corner right here, so there was actually, like, right up here, there was this rope that would come down and, like, you climb the rope, but right here in this corner, we used to be, like, this fence is obviously new and, like, massive. Like, if I was a kid, that would be, like, a fun challenge to try and, like, scale this. But there used to be this corner which was easy to kind of, like, parkour off of and get up and over, and then I'd go into the neighbor's yard and goof around in there, and then come back over before my parents knew that I was gone. There's also this big tree right here, and there was like a branch that hung over, and I would sit off of it until one day it broke and I landed, and there was actually the water, the gas meter, whatever it was called, was right underneath that, and I landed right on top of it and hurt myself. And I was talking like the boy down the street from me that I had a crush on when that happened, and I fell right on it while I was talking to him, and I ran inside crying, and it was really hard to look at him again after that, because I was like, oh no, that was really embarrassing. Like, he was like he had like this cool bicycle, and he was like a BMXer, and I was like, you're really cool, and I'm like, you're really cute, and I like you. He was a bad boy. He was I'm glad he never liked me back. Anyways, this is my parents', sorry, I keep saying my parents, but it's really my dad's garden. This right here is the herb box, and like, here's a lot of the chives and stuff. Like, these things go crazy and grow everywhere. And funny enough, we never use them. Like, we used to use them like on potatoes and stuff like that. It's like the chives on the top, like, cut them up, and I can't tell you the last time we used them, but they grow really well, obviously. Like, they're everywhere in this garden. This one's just empty right now. He does not, I mean, clearly, like, there's just a bunch of weeds in here, but, so he changes it based off of the season, like, depending on what's gonna grow well. And so, of course, he's got some, tomatoes and peppers, lots of peppers. I just picked him up a bunch of different kinds. I got him, peppercini. I love pepperoncinis. I'm not a huge pepper fan, but there's a couple peppers I really do enjoy. I gotta be really careful because I'm deathly allergic to ants, so I don't want to kneel in an ant pile. So right now, yeah, he's got the peppers going, tomatoes. I think these are leeks right here. These or onions. You know what? That makes more sense. It's probably onions, because that makes more sense for the season. So he's got that, and then empty spaces right here. He'll put more stuff in. Actually, you know what? I don't know if you can see it, but he's got some stuff growing. Some little baby plants. I don't know what they're gonna be. I wonder what they are. Depending on the season, I mean, like, the season that is right now. Maybe some beans? Because beans grow right now. So maybe he's doing some beans. We'll see. If he puts up like a trellis for them, then we'll know. And then, make sure I don't fall in. Check it out. So cool enough. Woo! This pond right here, I built when I was 12 years old. So, as you can tell, it's one of my dad's garden boxes. And I got bored one day and I wanted to build a pond. And originally I was going to build it like over there. And apparently apparently. I was 2 inches away from hitting the gas line, digging a hole in the yard, and my mom and dad came home and they're like, oh my God, don't do that. Like, then they stopped me. So I started digging in this garden box, and my dad was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you digging in my garden box? And I just wanted to dig, but I also wanted a pond. I mean, I at least I thought I did. And when I got caught, I told my dad, I was like, dude, like, I'm making mom a pond for her birthday. Like, you're gonna deny mom a beautiful pond because you won't let me dig? And so I got it. Like, he let me dig, and obviously because it's there. But this sucker is not small. And I was 12 years old when I did it. I don't think people understand that. Like, 12 years old, I was in 6th grade, and I built a pond. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this thing is not small. I would say that that's probably about 13 feet, maybe, wide, and probably about 25 long. Get this, over 4 feet deep. I'm a determined little thing. It's crazy. And we're in North Texas, so I'm in Dallas. So we have clay. We don't have like generic soil. We have clay. And so a 12-year-old dug 4 feet down and all that. I had my dad and my brother come and help dig some of it too, but yeah, that was because of me. And then we originally had this as a filter, and it had like a filter tube up that came up, like the filter was inside, and then it came up through the top and then came cascaded down. But that didn't last. I mean, that thing was, and we tried filters and stuff like that, but it ended up being bog plants. So I studied a bunch of books back then because I was a library and art nerd. So I was always in the library, and I read up on hydroponics when I was that little. But so I decided to start trying bog plants because I'd read that they were good at naturally filtering ponds out and stuff, and just happened to be that like I was naturally good at creating naturalistic ecosystems without the aid of mechanical stuff, because I'm not mechanically inclined. So like it just made sense for me to make it not that way. But yeah, before I knew it, I was in the North Texas Water Garden Society. I joined that organization when I was a teenager, and I think when I was like 16, I gave my first lecture at one of their meetings about natural pond keeping. And it was crazy because I was like the youngest person by like 20 or 30 years that was a part of that organization to begin with. And then to be asked to give a talk on it, was really intimidating. And I really thought it was weird that they wanted to hear about it because it seemed kind of like easy to me. But I guess back then I just thought, things needed to be what I didn't understand for it to be interesting, not what other people didn't understand that I knew. I kind of devalued myself a little bit and my abilities. Anyways, so this is the garden. He's got some more stuff over here he's gonna do. But yeah, this is my childhood backyard, and this is all the places that I went to, like all the areas that, and look how big this yard is. This is for the middle of Dallas. This is a decent sized yard. I mean, it's not the country. This is the middle of the city, like a suburb of the city. And I'm really glad that I don't live here anymore. My parents would probably kick me out regardless, because I would have put turtles all over here. This would all be tortoise pens and turtles and stuff, and more ponds, and It would have been so cool. I mean, I hope one of these days I get this house. But I don't know. I'm okay. I'm content with my own house. It's just not, my yard's not as big as theirs. So look, they even have like the side area and bricks. They haven't used these in forever, and they won't give them to me. It's just been sitting here. Probably got snakes all in it. I don't know, but I've been wanting these forever, and they keep saying, well, I think we're gonna make this out of it, and I think we're gonna do that with this. And I'm like, but I know what I'm gonna do with it right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop complaining and leave it at that. And I hope you guys have a super fantastic day. But yeah, where it all started, the crazy yard. Oh, this corner, yeah, this is kind of super important to my childhood and what I care about. Sorry if you don't, but right here, right there, my favorite tree, my best friend tree when I was a kid. I had a tree that was my best friend, and it grew in that corner, and I sat in it and I talked to the tree because I didn't have friends growing up. And one day I came home from school and it was gone. My dad chopped it down. But I have a picture, a Polaroid picture somewhere. I'll have to find it and post it on Instagram. But yeah, my childhood, painful memories and great ones too. Anyways, y'all have a great day. I hope you found this somewhat entertaining, some information that's useful, maybe somehow, like, you know, maybe I'll do a more in-depth video on how to create, because I do have to build a couple ponds, so maybe I'll do a video on creating a natural pond without mechanical needs at all, and then show you maybe like how, you know, once or twice a year, how to refresh it and clean it out, which is still a lot easier than having to maintain the filters of ponds and stuff. But anyways, see you guys later.